Hey, it's Fern. I know some of you are visual learners, so today we're going to go through this project together virtually and understand a little bit about the thought behind a landscape design. This is a Decatur, Georgia home. As per usual indicator, it's a large home on a small lot. And there are a couple of other limitations about this property that are not so common. One is there's a steep hill with a large tree creating a setback and also a stream at the base of that large hill. I'm going to show you the survey. The survey was the first challenge we had to go overcome because it's super complicated if you're not used to looking at a survey. This is a complex one. But here's that stream, and here are the setback lines from the edge of the stream that different municipalities have different rules, but most of them say you can't do anything within 75 feet of a stream. And there's that 75-foot line, and you can see the back of the house is almost in that line. So we had to go through the variance process to get a permit for this project. But it was we worked together and accomplished exactly what the client was looking for the budget she was looking to spend. I'm going to go through some before pictures. They're always fun to see. Here's what it looked like when I arrived. Overgrown shrubby trees, an old worn out deck, no useful patio space, a little bit of a disaster of a backyard. Here's the side of the house approaching the backyard. There was an old driveway that ran all the way to the back of the property, and it is sloped away from the house, but as we get down back past the gate, you can see that it flattens out and even drops off and runs right into the garage. The client had already had to replace the framing around the garage door and the garage door itself because a lot of that stormwater just came right into the garage. The original contractor put in a little ditch, a little swale right here in front of the door, but if stormwater is moving quickly, it will jump right over something like that. So it was a challenging design. Another aspect of the challenge was that this deck had 2 staircases. I am completely unsure why they would do that, but having a staircase and an opening in your deck creates the need for a hallway to get to that staircase. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have it back here in the back corner opposite of the back door, nor does it make sense to have 2. We had lot coverage limitations on this project as well because of the big house and the small property. So the plan of removing all of this concrete and one of these staircases, actually both of them, relocating the stairs, helped accomplish our staying within the lot coverage limitations of Decatur. Oh, skipping ahead to the after picture, let's talk about the design a little bit more. So in order to overcome the stormwater problem, I needed all of the hardscapes around the house to slope away from the house. To accomplish that, we put in a ramp coming down from the driveway. We cut out the end of the driveway and put in this ramp, but you can see that the ramp even slopes away. The concrete slopes away, the ramp slopes away, and it needed to slope towards something, otherwise we would create a big washout area. So turf grass does a good job of maintaining a grade. That fibrous root system holds the earth in place. But at the bottom of the new hill that we created by regrading is a dry creek bed, and that catches water from all directions and takes it all the way out past the fence to the natural area. We put in some boulders to slow down the water flow and a big boulder at the end to dissipate the water flow so we didn't just have a path of erosion going down the hill. Another challenge was the staircase, which we redesigned to be very close to the back door. The only hallway here is from here to here. Everything else is usable space. I put in a landing halfway down the stairs. Anytime there's more than 8 or 10 stairs max, I try to give you a resting spot. For the very young and the very old, it's important to not have 14 stairs straight down a hill. It can be dangerous. And also we had a building setback line. You can't build anything vertical like a deck or a shed within a certain amount of distance to the property line. So that building setback line falls right about here. And it also turns you, if you're at a party You go down the stairs and it delivers you right into the other party space. So it's a nice connected feng shui for this backyard. Let's go back to those after pictures. So there we are. Clean, simple, redesigned underdecking so that the supports would run into the beam. I put in a big double, I think it might have even been a triple beam to open up this whole central space instead of having a post in the middle, and used joist hangers so that the framing was as shallow as possible to open up as much patio space as we possibly could. There's a shot of it from behind. This is a really good picture to show the way that the ramp slopes away and the concrete slopes away rather than towards this garage. I left these old steps. Aren't they cool? They're floating steps. It's hard to see in the shade back here, but I just thought it would be fun to have a place to put your stuff, your drink, a pot with a super shade-loving plant. Very warm and welcoming. The client, it has a green thumb, and so these sets of pictures, some of them are after 2 or 3 years, and this shows that area with the ramp and the new retaining wall that the contractor tried to mimic, even the granite with the grapevine mortar. These little thoughtful details save on budget but make a project feel very finished. We used concrete because it's budget friendly and it works just fine, and it's not visible from anywhere except for standing out there where we are now looking at it, and it saved a bundle as opposed to pavers or flagstone. Here's another shot of the before. We came a long way, didn't we? And a nice after. The client and the pup enjoying their new opened up space. We removed those shrubby trees, overgrown shrubs, and opened up for Xeon zoysia, a shade tolerant turf. There's looking the other way from the stairs at the after, and there's looking out there at the before. This image I included because during the design phase, we get to realize the whole construction project before we begin construction. Change orders cost a ton of money, and so if we can think through all of our change orders before we get started and have a streamlined project, that's going to save you a ton on your budget. Change orders cost money because the contractor has to stop, shift gears, order materials, maybe undo something that's not quite right. So, and this shows, originally we thought maybe we might want a trellis over here. That got cut for budget. Maybe some fancy gates also got cut for budget. And this shows a white opaque stain, but we went with the red instead. This is the grading plan. It's a simple document with very complex information. Everything had to flow and be perfect. And because we did all of that planning, the project flowed smoothly and functions perfectly. Stormwater goes exactly where it's supposed to go. This is a glimpse at the construction permit document. There's so much information. It's a simple looking document, but every one of these lines was thought out and engineered so that the project was buildable. And again, there are no construction delays, no permit delays. Everything just worked out perfectly. We have all of our measurements, heights, all the things required for a seamless project. So thanks for joining me and learning more about how a well thought out design will save you money and can accomplish the vision of your landscape dreams.